Hey, everybody. Did you see this? Did you see what Trump is trying to do? Did you watch this? Well, I'm going to tell you something. What you saw was a joke. I'm not laughing. Okay? I'll call this Oakland Trump jokes. Okay? Why? Because of the way Oakland responded. Okay? And what am I talking about here? What am I saying here? I'm saying that what you're about to see is another act by our president that's illegal. But hey, nobody calls him on it. No one calls him on it. They just let him do it. Just let him do it. Oh, it's okay. And the latest person to just let him do it is our great mayor, Oakland Mayor Barbara Lee. All right? You don't throw pot shots at an aircraft carrier. You match aircraft carrier with an aircraft carrier. Now, you're going to think I've gone nuts, and I don't care if you think you're right. Hear me up. Hear me out. Listen, or don't listen at your peril. All right? Yeah, I said it like that. I mean it. First of all, and he is our president, okay? That's the way I roll. I'm an institutionalist. I love my country, all right? That's the way that I roll. That's the way that I roll. But here is what happened today. And I'll put a little meaning on it for you. Well, maybe a lot, all right? But here's what happened today. Here's President Trump. Right here. Here he is. In fact, you know what I've got to do, though? I've got to make sure that I'm adjusting the audio so that you can hear President Trump talk. Otherwise, you couldn't hear him, all right? Now, you will be able to hear President Trump speak. Here we go.
Really, I fixed it the first week, but really fixed it over the last couple of months. And I mean, literally to a point where, as I said, 0 illegals entering our country in the last 90 days. Pretty amazing. It's time for dramatic action. We're going to do the same thing over here. It's going to be a very safe city very soon. We're not looking to take years. There's a lot of people die in years. And we've got incredible people in this country, except we have to allow them to do their job. And that we will deliver like nobody's ever delivered before. I actually think it's easy. You know, if you're competent, it's easy. If you're incompetent, it's impossible.
He's not wrong there.
But I'm very competent. Last week, my administration surged 500 federal agents into the district, including from the FBI, ATF, DEA, Park Police, the U.S. Marshal Service, the Secret Service, and the Department of Homeland Security. You know, a lot of nations, they don't have anything like that. They got some police, and they're rough police. They don't have DEA, ATF, FBI, Park Police, the U.S. Marshal Service, Secret Service, Department of Homeland Security. They got some police, but they're rough police, and they do their job. They don't have crime. We're not going to have crime either. They made dozens of arrests, and that's what starts to happen. Again, cashless bail. Watch what we do with that. Today, we're formally declaring a public safety emergency. This is an emergency. This is a tragic emergency. And it's embarrassing for me to be up here. You know, I'm going to see Putin. I'm going to Russia on Friday. I don't like being up here talking about how unsafe and how dirty and disgusting this once beautiful capital was, with graffiti all over the walls. It's another part of it, by the way, because we're talking about safety, but we're also talking about beautification. We have the most beautiful, potentially, capital in the world. We always had. But people come from Iowa, they come from Indiana, they come and then they get mugged. Not going to happen. Keep coming, because by the time you get your trip set, it's going to be safe again, and it's going to be clean very quickly. We're going to replace the medians that are falling down all over the roads. We're going to replace the potholes. We're going to put a nice new coat of asphalt over the top. No, we don't have to rip the road out and spend 7 years building a new road because they cut everything. Because some designers said, well, we need a quarter of an inch more turn for safety reasons. No, we're going to do it right. We're going to get it done quickly. So today we're declaring public safety emergency in the District of Columbia, and Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's fantastic, is taking command of the Metropolitan Police Department as of this moment. And I'll be making the appropriate notifications to Congress and to the mayor, our new DEA administrator, who's one of the top in the country. He better be Terry. If you're not, I'm going to get rid of you so fast. Terry Cole. Terry, thanks. Very good. We just got him. Most highly recommended person. And you'll be designated as the interim federal commissioner of the Metropolitan Police Department. Okay? And you run them tough. They're good. You have a lot of good people. You have people that shouldn't be there. You also have people that shouldn't be there. They got in there because of woke. But you have a lot of great police. And those people are the ones that want to help you. This city will no longer be a sanctuary for illegal alien criminals. We will have full, seamless, integrated cooperation at all levels of law enforcement, and we'll deploy officers across the district with an overwhelming presence. You'll have more police, and you'll be so happy because you'll be safe. When you walk down the street, you're going to see police, or you're going to see FBI agents. We're going to have a lot of agents on the streets. And you're going to have a lot of essentially military, and we will bring in the military if it's needed. By the way, we're going to have National Guard, but Pete Hegseth will tell you about it. We will bring in the military if needed. People say, "Oh, that's so terrible." He's going to bring in. It's been used many times over the years.
What he is proposing is illegal. Keep this in mind. I'm going to forward more here. All right, but what he is proposing is illegal. Okay.
I don't think we'll need it. I think we've got so many great people, including the people that are in the...
And I'll get to why. Let's move forward a little bit more in his statement.
Or they're going to be rehabbed. It's not going to be rehabbed. I'm going to ask Doug Burgum to come up and say a couple of words because he's in charge, as you know. He's Interior, but he's in charge of the U.S. Park Police. And I've heard so many great things about the Park Police. They're proud of it. They've been there for a long time. Their families oftentimes grow into the roles. They love the country. They love this area. So, Doug, could you say a few words, please?
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Attorney General.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Cash. So, the process begins right now. It actually started over the weekend, and we confronted a lot of very bad people. But it's going to be something that will be pretty amazing to you as you watch it. And I think most of you say it's a beautiful thing to do it right. We're going to be removing homeless encampments from all over our parks, our beautiful, beautiful parks, which now a lot of people can't walk on. They're very dirty, we got a lot of problems. But we've already started that. We're moving the encampments away, trying to take care of people. Some of those people, we don't know how they even got there. Some of those people are from different countries, different parts of the world. Nobody knows who they are. They have no idea, but they're there. We're getting rid of the people from underpasses and public spaces from all over the city. There are many places that they can go, and we're going to help them as much as you can help. But they'll not be allowed to turn our capital into a wasteland for the world to see. The Metropolitan Police Department and the federal authorities will be supported in the effort, a really big effort, the 800 DC National Guardsmen that we'll put on, and much more if necessary, much more. You remember I said, I offered 10,000 once. Remember I said to a certain person, a person who I thought always was highly overrated, not very competent. But I said, if you need them, we'll give you 10,000 of the military or the National Guard. They turned me down. But if necessary, we're going to move service members directly to joining the Guardsmen. And that'll take place very rapidly, and that'll be done in conjunction with Pam and with Pete and everybody else. Washington, D.C. should be one of the safest, cleanest, and most beautiful cities anywhere in the world. And we're going to make it that. We're going to make it safe. We're going to make it smart. We're going to make it beautiful, so beautiful. Some of the buildings, we're going to add to it. You see what we've done at the White House. This White House is a whole different building. I do that in my part-time because it's a natural instinct as a real estate person. I was very good at that. And I was very good at fixing things up. I like fixing things up. And because of that and her reputation, she went into showbiz. So a lot of people don't, they think of Janine as showbiz. Actually, showbiz was not her thing. And she did great. She was on, along with a couple of other of my friends, on the #1 show. And she did great. But this is what she loves doing. This is really her. The people know what we signed. Do you want to put them down?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
A short while ago in the Oval Office, President Trump signed 2 crucial executive actions to deal with the emergency crime conditions we currently face in the District of Columbia. The first of these was an executive order, as President Trump said before, invoking his powers under Section 40 of the Home Rule Act to take federal control of the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department. Along with that executive order, President Trump signed the statutorily required notification letters to Mayor Bowser and to the relevant House and Senate committee leaders. The second major executive action that President Trump signed was a presidential memorandum directing the Secretary of Defense to utilize the National Guard to address the conditions we see on our streets here in D.C. It also authorized the Secretary of Defense to work with state governors to utilize their National Guard units if necessary as well. These are bold, decisive steps intended to combat the out-of-control crime conditions we've seen on D.C.'s streets for far too long. And I, for one, am deeply proud to be part of an administration that's finally coming to terms with these issues, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sir.
Thank you. So, just to conclude, Washington, D.C. should be one of the safest, cleanest, most beautiful places anywhere in the world. It was years ago. We had one problem that was a pretty big problem. The radical left got out of control and they started trying to rip down statues. And I said, let's go pass a law real fast. We're going to do it real fast, but we were blocked by the Democrats who do not want safety. Nobody gets it. I don't get it. They don't get it because they can't get votes. I don't know how they can win an election with this, but they don't want safety. And I found an old statute, very old, early 1900s, that said if you so much as touch or even think about destroying a statue or a monument in Washington, D.C., you go to jail for 10 years with no probation, no anything. In other words, slightly different than we have today. Today we have cashless bail. Say you get jailed 10 years, no curtailed sentence, 10 years. And we took it out. Nobody used it. It was never used because, it's harsh. And you remember they started to rip down the statue of Abraham Lincoln. I said, that's a tough one to rip down. He was pretty good, Pam. I think he was pretty good. When the ropes started going around Abraham Lincoln to pull him down, Andrew Jackson, others, and they were heading to the Jefferson Memorial, Thomas Jefferson. They're going to do a big number there. I said, it's time. And I signed that statute immediately. We had it updated. We made it use the same language, all passed by Congress. And I announced it's...
Let me stop him right there, folks. You want to know why? There is no Section 40 of the Home Rule Act. Let me show you, okay? Because this is what I'm talking about. He's got everybody bamboozled, doesn't think you're going to check anything. There is no Section 40 of the doggone Home Rule Act. I repeat. You understand what I just told you? There is no Section 40 of the Home Rule Act. This is the Home Rule Act. Listen to me. All right, listen to me. Listen to me. This, what you're about to hear, let me put this back on normal, okay? So you can hear what I'm saying, all right? This is the Home Rule Act, okay? We're presenting it right here, right now. I'm going to stop this nonsense. Okay, this is ridiculous. This is like, it's like, can I kind of give me a break? You know what I mean? Okay. This is the Home Rule Act. Let me show you what it is. Right down here, the Home Rule Act of 2013. All right. First of all, here's the Home Rule Act. Let me go all the way back up here. And all right, all the way back up here. All the way back up here. See section 403, right? All right. There is no Home Rule Act. Okay. Look. All right. District of Columbia Home Rule Act. Public Law 93-198. Okay. You know where it starts, folks? In terms of sections and numbers. Do you want to know where it starts? Do you want to know where it starts? It starts right here at, boom, section 101. There is no section 40. All right? Listen to me. There is no section 40. There is no section 40. And yet he said section 40 of the Home Rule Act. There is no section 40 of the Home Rule Act. So he has no legal standing to go in and do what he claims he wants to do. He referred to section 40. It's not there. Okay? You understand? It's not there. Are you listening? Are you listening to me, McFly? Huh? Wake up, McFly. I'm talking to you. There is no section 40. It doesn't exist. It starts with 101 and it goes down and it just gets bigger, okay? So let's have a little fun. Let's just, give the president the benefit of the doubt for a second and then type president, all right? President, okay? All right. Where do we have president? We have 64 matches of president in the act, referring to the president of the Senate. It says that there has to be a joint resolution that's passed. It says an amendment to the charter regarding the registered electors. And it says that be transmitted to the president. And this has to do with what? Charter amending procedure to amend the city's charter. Okay. Then it says that qualifications for holding office regarding the council. Okay. And where does it say the president of the United States can go in and just take over? All right. It talks about no person holding the office of the mayor unless he is A, a qualified elector, B, has resided or domiciled in the district for 1 year, hasn't been convicted of a felony, okay, all right, or is not engaged in any employment and holds no public office or position, okay, in connection therewith, all right, while holding the office of the mayor, or serving as a delegate to convention candidates for president, vice president, that sort of thing, okay, and that has to do with the mayor. All right, of DC, okay? All right. It talks about, in this sense here, right down here, right? What does it talk about? It talks about the judicial powers vested in the District of Columbia Courts of Appeal. And that refers to the president, all right? One member can be appointed by the president. The president shall nominate. It's recommended the president for nomination, all right? Okay, candidate performance regarding District of Columbia. All right, there is nothing here about the power of the president. Okay, nothing to take over DC. It talks about the federal portion of the budget shall be submitted by the mayor to the president for the transmission to Congress. That's reacted to the local budget by council. Okay. And has to do with the court's budget, District of Columbia Courts budget. All right. And the multi-year capital improvement program. What else? What else? And so transmission of the president during control years, and they then okay, so what is a control years? What are that? What is that? What is that? That's enactment of local budget by council. A council within 70 calendar days and by a vote of the majority shall act and adopt the annual budget for the District of Columbia government. The federal portion of the budget shall be submitted by the mayor to the president for transmission to Congress. That's standard. All right. That doesn't mean the president controls the DC police and everything. All right. Permitting increase in amount. Right. Well, what else is there? Okay. And so we have election, a question regarding obligation bonds. We have the acts that are passed. If I go through here, then I say there's nothing here that says, all right, it says abolishment of existing government and transfer of functions. There's District of Columbia Council. And that was in 67, because this was done to really create a home rule within DC to give the residents of DC more say. Okay. That was the idea. That was the idea. Yeah, continuation of the court system. There are temporary powers of the president during the transitional period. The President of the United States is hereby authorized and requested to take such action during the period following the date of the enactment of this act and ending on the day of the first meeting of the council by executive order or otherwise, with respect to the administration of the functions of the district government, as he deems necessary to enable the Board of Elections properly to perform its function under this act. That's it. Okay. Once the council takes its seats, the president steps out of the way. Okay. You have a mayor. All right. That's it. That's it. What Trump is doing is illegal. All right. The United States government may provide services to the District of Columbia government, and the District of Columbia government may provide services to the United States government. Okay, fine. Personal interest in company. This is very detailed, stuff here, but I don't see anywhere here. There's no section 40. There's no section 40. All right. There's no section 40. Okay. There's no section 40 here, folks. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? There's no section 40. He said it. There's no section 40. And yet, what did I get back from Mayor Lee? I got back from Mayor Lee something like this. Okay. I mean, this is the kind of thing that just makes you it drives you batty, folks. It really does. It's just absolutely awful. All right. But here's what I got from the mayor of Oakland earlier today. And hey, love him at the mayor's office. I just disagree. Okay. MAYOR. And it reads, Office of the Mayor, Barbara Lee, Oakland Mayor Barbara Lee responds to Trump's comment about Oakland Monday morning. All right. And reads, President Trump mentioned Oakland while announcing plans to deploy the National Guard into Washington, D.C. Here's Oakland Mayor Barbara Lee's response. President Trump's characterization of Oakland is wrong and not grounded in facts, but in fear-mongering. This is not leadership. It is an attempt to score cheap political points by tearing down communities he doesn't understand. We're making real progress on public safety in Oakland. Although we acknowledge we have more work to do, we're doing this work each and every day. Our comprehensive public safety strategy is working. Crime rates are coming down, even though we still face many challenges. And let me repeat, President Trump is wrong. This is a bad answer. Why? Because she gave Trump a window of agreement. Like, oh, yeah, we got some problems. Bullshit. That's not even the response Mayor Lee should have taken. The response should have been, hey, you mentioned Section 40 in the DC, in the case of Washington, D.C. There is no Section 40, Mr. President. What you're doing for Washington, D.C. is illegal. You're violating home rule in other cities. You violated the rights of the states with respect to California, with respect to the National Guard, and we're not going to let you do it again. That's the response, okay? That's the response, all right? Okay, that's the response. And so Michael Frank says, look at page 85 of the Home Rule Act. And so we will do that. 85 here. 85. Page 85 of the Home Rule Act. No law or regulation which is enforced to this effective date of Title IV. Okay, you say page 85 where? Folks, let me show you page 85 right here. Okay, be careful what you ask for. This is page 85. All right. That's page 85. Boom. He didn't say section. What section? Don't just say page 85. What section? Sprechen Sie Deutsch, dude. All right. You have continuation of District of Columbia court system. This is about the court system. The court system. Okay. All right. Part C, temporary, and this is powers of the president during transitional period. You don't even know how to read this, dude. Mikhail, you do not know how to read this. I already went over that. That has to do with the power of the president before the council takes over. The DC council is in charge now, all right? You have no idea what you're saying, okay? You say it's section 40, all right? You said page 85. Page 85 is not section 740. 740 is way down, buddy. Okay? All right? Section 740, at least when I say 85, I'm looking at the 85 and that's got 88 and how it's numbered. You're looking at it differently in fairness to you. Okay? I'm not going to be a jerk. 740 National Capital Service Area, Service Director, National Capital Service Area, and then you've got scrolls down here, carrying out the provisions of paragraphs. President shall, to the extent, have section 40, 740, emergency control of police. Okay, thank you. Notwithstanding any other provision of law, whether the President of the United States determines that special conditions of an emergency nature exist, which require the use of Metropolitan Police Force for federal purposes, he may direct the mayor to provide him, and the mayor shall provide such services of the Metropolitan Police Force as the President may deem necessary and appropriate. In no case, however, shall such services made available pursuant to any direction under this subsection extend for a period in excess of 48 hours unless the president has, prior to the expiration of each period, notified the chairman and ranking minority members of the Committee on the District of Columbia of the Senate and the House of Representatives in writing, and to the reason for such direction and the period of time during which the need for services is likely to continue, subject to the provision of subsection. So in other words, basically, you got 48 hours. All right. You got 48 hours and that's it. So, even then it's limited. So not only does he have the wrong section, his power is extremely limited. All right. It says, and remember, this is an emergency situation. All right. And let's continue reading. Subject to the provisions of subsection C of this section, such services made available in accordance with subsection A of this section shall terminate upon the end of such emergency, the expiration of a period of 36 days following the date on which services are first made available, or the enactment of a law of a joint resolution by the Congress, providing for such termination, whichever first occurs. Which means Congress can come in and snuff it out, all right? Notwithstanding the foregoing provisions of this section, in any case in which such services are made available in accordance with the provisions of subsection A of this section during any period of an adjournment of the Congress sindi, each services shall terminate upon the end of the emergency. The expiration of the 36-day period, which is basically just a month, following the date on which Congress first convenes following such adjournment, or the enactment into law of a joint resolution by the Congress providing for such termination, whichever first occurs. D, except to the extent provided for in subsection C of this section, no such service is made available pursuant to the direction of the President pursuant to subsection A of this section shall extend for any period in excess of 30 days, unless the Senate and the House of Representatives enact into a law a joint resolution authorizing such extension. Okay, so the point that I'm making is his authority can be challenged by Congress. Okay, his authority can be challenged by Congress, and if this law stands, what's to stop someone in Congress from writing a new law that basically further curtails the president's ability? Nothing. All right. The point that I'm making, folks, is that the president is not king. The president is not king. There are always adjustments to this. Always. Now, here's my point. How should he have done it? This is how he should have done it. He should have went to Mayor Bowser, had a meeting with her, stated his intentions, gotten her feedback, worked to bring her in as a partner, and then done it that way. Because then you have the buy-in of the people who run Washington, all right? The council and the mayor. That's the way you do it. That's the way you do it. That's the way you do it. And I believe, actually, there are a couple of challenges to this law that I'm going to research. I don't think this thing is entirely clean. In fact, I know it's not. So no, And the point that I'm making to everybody is let the courts decide, all right? Let the courts decide on this stuff because we don't need kings, all right? Now, Michael says he has that, but Congress isn't going to. You said he has no authority. I said that what he was doing was illegal, and I stand by that. I stand by that. What he is doing is illegal. He wants to move homeless. You hear what he said? He wants to move the homeless out of the way. Okay. I want to have this truly tested. I want to have it tested. No, these laws are out there, but no one has tested the DC law against the Constitution or anything else. It has never been tested. Now we have an opportunity. And I believe it should be tested. I don't believe he really has the right to do it. I believe this is against home rule in the Constitution and the clean meaning of what home rule actually refers to. Because look, Mikhail, Washington established home rule to get away from being ran by a president. That was the whole point. All right. There's a lot of questions as to whether or not this is actually a state of emergency to begin with. Attack that. My point is, you say he has the authority. I say he doesn't. I say I want to challenge that in court, and I say I can. All right. That's my point. Mike says two different issues. The president has the authority more. No, disagree. I disagree with you there. And he says it's not illegal. Newsom moved with the homeless. Gavin was the governor. Okay? Gavin was the governor and is the governor. My good friend, California Governor Gavin Newsom, is the governor. All right? He's the governor. He did it. But if I were mayor of Oakland, I'd test this in a second just for the hell of it. All right? Just for the hell of it. I want to see, because I want to find weaknesses in the law. And I want to fire further pot shots at it so I can find new weaknesses to take advantage of. I'm fighting. All right? I know what it refers to, dude. I don't care how unique it is. It doesn't mean it's above the law, the laws of the United States. It hasn't been tested. The case history on this thing is light. Okay? DC is unique. You don't live in DC. I've spent more time in DC than you have. All right. I'm sorry, Vinny. I'm right. No, Michael, I'm right. I love you too, man, but I'm right. And I'm right about fighting. You find every legal angle there is. You don't just read something and say, well, oh, I think, You're not a lawyer. Okay. You shepherdized the case? No, you didn't. Did you? No. All right. There is a weakness here. All right. And the intent of this law was not for the president to go off half-cocked and, remake Washington and all this other jazz without the mayor as a partner. You know, and I know that Trump did it better when he walked in and he had Mayor Bowser there and Roger Goodell to announce the NFL draft. That was a beautiful thing. You have a partnership. You don't walk in like you're the doggone king. We don't have kings in this country. That's my point. And you don't fear to fight. Like, well, I'm afraid. I think, fuck it. Do it anyway. All right? You do it anyway. You fight it anyway. Whatever's said down there can't make sense. What do? Challenge it in court. Yeah, that's what you do. And I'll bet you I'm not the only person who thinks this. All right? Mikhail says, you said the president cannot take over the DC. Well, for a limited time. Okay? And he has to have the approval of Congress. All right? And they said section 40. They got it screwed up. All right? No, I don't like it, so I want to destroy. You're right, I don't like it. And I'm not the only person who doesn't like it. And that's where the law comes in. You assemble an argument to attack the law you don't like. That's the way the game is played. You don't just look at it and say, well, this thing says, challenge it. Okay? Find holes in it. Destroy it. Period. Because he's taking a little sliver and, making it something else, okay? All right? So I'm saying challenge the doggone president. What he's doing is illegal. It's illegal. It's illegal. It's illegal. It's illegal. You can get as mad as you want to for me saying it, but I'm saying it. It's illegal. I have a right to my opinion. What he's doing is illegal. There. All right? They even referred to the wrong section. There is no section 40. If you're going to do it right. Okay? He says, Zinni, you make a mistake, just own up. No, I'm not owning. No, I didn't make a mistake at all. He has no right to do that. Period. Okay? No. He has no right. Trump has no right to do that. Period. You know that. He is not supposed to walk in and just, I want everybody out of here. I want the homeless. I want all this. We're going to beautify this and everything else. Now, is okay. Oh, but they didn't. Hey, I thought they said section 40. They said section 40. And the one thing you forget is I was right. He was wrong about it. It wasn't section 40. So while you're out there trying to say, oh, Zinni, admit you're, why don't you admit that I was right in calling out that they got the wrong section? Okay? Because they did. There is no section 40. If you look at Google right now, it's like section 40 of the home rule, section 40. There is no section 40. All right? See, now Miguel stopped talking because he knows I'm right, because I'm right. They screwed up. They didn't do their homework. They just found it at the last minute. Let's hurry up. We're scrambling around, all right? When you do that, you miss something. There is no section 40. Okay? There is no section 40. And you won't give me credit for that, which means you're biased. I have a right to my bias, and you run away. Chicken, there is no section 40. 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 He had to come in and do the president's work for himself. His staff didn't do it right. And they're up there talking section 40. They don't even know who you are. Yeah. And one of us has the White House email. It's not you. There is no section 40. All right. Yeah, I figured. See, I figured. Yep. See, I'm done. I knew you'd see. You wouldn't say that I was right. See how he is? See what doesn't want to admit that I'm right. Okay. Yeah, right. You're wrong, pal. You're wrong. There is no Section 40. Man up and admit it. I was right. There is no Section 40. There is no Section 40. You have no credibility. You have no credibility. There is no Section 40. Man up. Okay. Period. Man up. Man up. Bye. Boy, oh boy. Give me a break. I'm going to find the legal challenge to that. Because I'll bet you there is one. I'll bet you. Okay? All right? No, you didn't. You said you were done. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. All right? You didn't. All right? You didn't give me credit for anything. Okay? Nah, you didn't give me, just own up to it, okay? You thought you had me. You didn't. You didn't have me. And is that juvenile? Yes. So my point is, you're wrong. Wrong as the day is long. Wrong. Look, wrong. Well, if you keep saying you're done, if you keep saying you're done, go. All right. But don't just stay here and say, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Take your ball and go home. I'm not telling you to stick around. I'd love to have you here a little bit more. But come on, man. In fact, you know what? I got to prep dinner. So I don't have a lot of time anyway. Yep. It's been fun, folks. I'll be back. I'll be back. Okay? I'll be back. I'll be back. I didn't ask for your help. Look at this. I tried to help you. I didn't ask for your help. Bye. Okay? I didn't ask for your help. Section 40. Give me a break. You can't admit when you're wrong, pal. It was not Section 40. You can't admit that when you're wrong. And what's like, oh, how many days you take over the DC police? 48 hours. 48 hours. 48 freaking hours. 48 hours. Yeah. No. Bye. Okay, folks, I gotta go. It's almost the top of the hour. Later. Remember, do your homework. Don't accept anything that's written. Look at the legal challenges to it. Don't be one of these. Don't be like Miguel here. See you later.